Welcome to McFly Angler. I've never been a guide, but I still enjoy teaching people how to catch more fish. So join me in this video where I show you how I tie this fly. So I'm using a Risen O'Shaughnessy hook. Did I say that right? In size 2, but any long shank saltwater hook will do for this fly. Whichever hook you're using, just place it securely in your vise. For thread, I like using this Vivus 140 power thread in hot orange. The color here is important, guys. So start your thread with a small gap behind the eye of the hook and build up a thread base to lay the dumbbell eyes on. For eyes, I like using lead to really ensure the fly gets to the bottom quickly. Attach your eyes on top of the hook with X-wraps and under wraps. Then bring your thread back to the bend of the hook. Add some super glue, or in this case I'm using UV curing resin so it cures quickly. Now we need some ice dub. Pull a small amount out and pull apart in your fingers many times to align the fibers, like so. Tie this on the side of your hook in the center of the clump, angling downward. Then fold the other side down and on the opposite side of the hook and tie that in securely as well. Now we need some rubber legs. Speckled clear like this could work well, but I'm going to use these hot orange legs. Clip 2 legs, then tie them in on either side of the hook and up against the bump of the dubbing so they splay outward. Trim off the waste and then clean up that section. Now make a dubbing loop and attach your dubbing twister. We are now going to make the legs, and I like this cream colored ultra chenille for that. Clip off about this much, then make 3 short sections out of that. Burn the tips so they come to a point. I like to attach these with the hook point up. Lay the legs over the hook shank and make X-wraps over the chenille legs. Pull the legs so just about a half a hook shank length is sticking out on the other side. Then pull the legs down and rearward, and tie up against the legs to position them that way. Then bring your thread back about halfway, and add another leg in the same way. Then bring your thread back up against the lead, and attach the third leg in the same manner. Now we need to trim the legs on the close side to match the other side. Then burn the tips of this side as well. For the body, I'm going to use this Senyos laser dub in gray color. Pull apart many times in your fingers to align the fibers. Then cut this clump into thirds. Now you can separate the clump slightly before sticking them onto your dubbing loop. Try to distribute the dubbing as evenly as possible on your loop before twisting it up. Now sometimes you have to move the legs out of the way while twisting to make sure they don't get caught. Then brush it out with a stiff toothbrush and pick apart slightly as well. Now I like to turn my hook point down to start wrapping the loop around the hook shank. Make tight touching wraps with the loop hackle. Then snug it tight up against the chenille legs. Make sure to position the legs where you want them when it's going over them with the dubbing loop. After reaching the legs with the hoop, just weave the loop hackle through the legs, making sure to position the legs each time. Once you reach the dumbbell eyes, then capture your loop and snip off the waist. Pick out the dubbing body and then trim it so it's not quite as bushy. Now for the top wing. I like using mallard flanks for this, but you have to find the right feather, and with the right curve in it. Some are curved to the side, but you want one curved just right, and this feather looks about right here. To prepare the feather, measure it against the hook you'll be using, and then strip off the excess fibers at the base of the feather. Trim off the tip of the feather so it makes a space like so. Place a drop of flexible UV resin on your finger and brush it into the feather and cure it. Then tie the feather in so it's right on top of the hook, splitting the point evenly. Trim off the excess stem, and then whip finish your fly. Make sure and position the feather properly before cementing the head of the fly. You can now trim the front legs to your desired length. And there's a super realistic sand crab pattern. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like this sort of thing, please subscribe and share with all your fish-loving friends. Also, do me a favor and hit that like button. So if you'd like to support this channel and also pick up some cool swag, then go to the description section for links to my merchandise. I have hats, shirts, sweatshirts, and more with my awesome logo. I will see you on the next video. Now you go catch some fish.